welcome to episode number 137 of Broad Street Hustle. I'm your host tonight, Jason Sayeda. It's going to be a quick episode tonight. Kind of have a skeleton crew, and we just wanted to log our picks for the week. Just get something on record. So, with that being said, Tommy and Meeker both cannot join us tonight, but we are joined by Jimmy the Chalk. Chalky, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm sorry we couldn't make time for all those Phillies trades and signings that,
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they're not doing anything yet.
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of interesting stuff going on in baseball, and we'll probably
Save it for next
maybe
week. We'll see.
we'll
But
start
yeah,
it off
there's
next week's episode with that.
still something to talk about.
Definitely. Yeah. And hopefully by then the Phillies will have done something. So, and we'll probably do that episode earlier in the week next week. But things may change. So,
Yeah, holidays are coming up. Schedule will be all over the place, but we'll get something out there.
yeah, we'll get a full episode out there next week. So, all right. With that being said, we're just going to jump right into just some stats from last week, and then we'll get into our picks. So last week, we had we'll start with Chalky. Chalky went 2-1, and he did win his best bet with the under in the Saints and Giants. He did lose his second bet, which was the Cardinals, which a lot of us had, and that was just not a good pick. But then he did win pretty decisively with the 49ers. And actually, him and Meeker both kind of crushed that pick. So we'll get the Meeker.
Two game winning streak for us.
Yeah, you guys are getting respectable now. You're 3-7. They're 1-7. So.
To put this in the Hall of Fame.
Listen, 30% is better than 11%.
Yeah.
So then we'll get to me. I also went 2-1, but I did lose my best bet, which was the Cardinals, and that was never even close, that game. Murray threw 2 interceptions, never game, set, match at that point. So, but I did win with the Rams plus 3.5 against the Bills, who actually won outright. And then my Panthers pick actually probably should have won that game, but or would have come pretty close to winning that game if the wide receiver could catch a pass. But I did cover with that. All right, 2-1. Meeker actually went 1-1. So as almost, clockwork, he lost his best bet, which is the Browns Steelers over. But he did push on the Jets. And then he won with the 49ers, just like Chalky did. So, and by the way, just so everyone knows, I think we threw out stats when you, myself, and Tommy all have the same pick. Prior to last week's game, we were actually 4-3, which is not a terrible record, but now we're 4-4. So, not great, but not awful. So with that being said, let's just go over some season records. For the season, Chalky's 23-18. Profit of $317, 56% win, 8% ROI. Now over 500, 21-20, but I'm still at a loss of $106. 51% win, minus 3% ROI. Meeker is 18-22, loss of $578. 45% win, minus 14% ROI. Tommy, 16-23, loss of $849. 41% win, minus 22% ROI. For the season, we're 79-86, a loss of $1,427. 42% win, minus 8.6% ROI. Just real quick, we'll just do the overall best records for the 3 years that we've done the podcast. I'm 28-19, 60%. Tommy's 24-22, 52%. Chalky's 25-24, he's about 50, almost 51%. And then Meeker's 20-28, 42%. So 97-93, 51% overall. And then our lifetime records, I am 84-62. Profit of $1,403, 58% win, 10% ROI. Tommy is 69-70, loss of $502, 49.6% win, minus 4% ROI. Chalky 72-75, loss of $881, 49% win, minus 6% ROI. Meeker 68-74, loss of $1,264, 48% win, minus 9% ROI. In total, The four of us are 293 and 281, loss of $1,244, 51% win, minus 2.2% ROI. And with that being said, we're just going to jump right into picks. And Chalky's been doing pretty well going first this year, so we're gonna have him lead off again.
All right. So my best bet is going to be a game that I'm picking this game in line based on the line and where the bets are going. So my best bet is going to be Detroit minus 2.5, minus 120 against Buffalo. Now, we talked 2 or 3 weeks ago about what lines would look like for an Eagles Detroit NFC Championship game, and Detroit hosting the Eagles was Detroit by 4.5, 5 at that point. Now, Detroit's had a couple close games, but I don't know that they're being discounted that much by extra rest. Buffalo just lost, and somehow it's only a 2.5 point game. That screams to me. It's like, oh, they want people to bet Detroit, and Buffalo has 75% of the bets, and the line has gone up. So,
If we had to do 4 picks, that was my
yeah.
4th pick.
So 2.5 just seems not enough, but people are taking that number on Buffalo, so I'm going to go Detroit. So Detroit minus 2.5, minus 120.
I like that.
Second pick is going to be Chargers minus 2.5, minus 120 against Tampa. The Chargers, had a chance to beat Kansas City. Tampa's been putting up some points, but Chargers have a very good defense and might be able to slow down Mayfield and Evans a little bit. So I'll take Chargers minus 2.5, minus 120. And then
may not like that pick soon.
And third is going to be a side as well, because, there wasn't an under that I really felt that great about taking. So I'm going to take Houston minus 3, minus 108 against the Dolphins. Dolphins, another very public side right now. So I'll take Houston minus 3, minus 108.
All right. So to keep me honest with these, Chalky, and I did just get them about an hour ago, so they probably didn't change. We don't have Tommy's picks, so we'll just go Meeker. Meeker's best bet is the Vikings minus 6.5, minus 115.
Vikings is the Monday night game, minus 6.5, minus 115.
Okay. And then he's got the over in the Falcons Raiders, over 44, minus 115.
That's also Monday night, over 44, minus 115. Yeah.
Yep. And then he's got the Chargers, minus 2.5, minus 120.
We're on a roll. So
they're on a roll. But I am.
Needless to say, the 2 games he has that I don't are very public choices right now. But yeah, it is what it is.
So you guys are on a roll, but I'm also 62% on my best bet this year. And my best bet is the Bucks plus 2.5, plus 100. Mm-hmm. Now I'm getting the shaft on this line because it really should be plus 3, but I'm getting plus 100. So, I'm not changing my picks. That's been my pick all, actually from yesterday. So, I think the Bucks could win this game outright. I think the Bucks are probably just as good as the Chargers. And, I don't know. I'm getting points. So, there's really no home field advantage for the Chargers.
That's definitely true.
So you're giving me points, or the teams that are pretty even, I'm going to take them. And my second pick, I'm also getting shaft on this line, but I'm taking the Seahawks plus 2.5, minus 105. The Seahawks are playing pretty well this year, lately. Well, not this year, but lately. They're on a roll. Packers are a pretty good team, but I don't know. Again, I think these teams are pretty close. In Seattle, which is a tough place to play. It's going to be rain. I'm getting 2.5. Really should be getting 3, but I'm not changing any of my picks.
You can buy a half.
I could buy a half, but I choose to follow the rules that we have done for 3 years. I won't. And then my third pick, I'm also getting the shaft on this line. I am sticking with my Panthers. I think this is the 3rd straight week I'm taking them. I am now giving 3 points, which, again, it was 2.5 when I liked it yesterday. now 3, minus 108 against the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are done. Whatever sliver of hope they had last week is over. Um, I could really see myself pushing this game, but the Panthers are playing well. They probably should have beat the Chiefs. They probably should have beat the Eagles. Now it's a different role for them, giving points, but I'm riding them. Bryce Young's been playing well, and I think the Cowboys are garbage. So that's it. Those are my picks. Real quick, I guess before we end this, any thoughts on the Steelers Eagles game?
Uh, it's hard for me to get a read. Eagles have never beaten Wilson in any format. Um, if Pickens, I didn't see that if Pickens was officially declared out, but he was
I
very,
don't think he's playing.
yeah. I I think it's a touchdown win for the Eagles, so I think they cover. So 24-17, maybe. A.J. Brown will score a touchdown this week. I'll say that.
Yeah, they're gonna force feed him. Well, I think, and I did some research for this, so I'll be quick. But I think this is obviously the best defense that they've played this year, and because the Steelers are ranked 7th, and if you look at the teams that they've played in the rankings, this was pretty shocking to me. So the Commanders are 12th, Green Bay's 13th, Giants are 16th, Browns are 21st, Ravens are 22nd, Falcons are 23rd, Cowboys 25th, Bengals 26th, Rams 27th, Bucks 28th, Colts 30th, Panthers 31st, and Jaguars 32nd. Those are the defenses the Eagles have played this year. So I think the Steelers are fourth versus the run. I think they're going to force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball to win the game. I don't think he can. If you look at tapes, if you watch the games, he's afraid to pull the trigger. I mean, Sanchez was saying it the whole game last week. Like, guys are there, guys are open. He's not throwing them the ball. I don't know if he's afraid. I don't know what's going on. The receivers are pissed off. Like you said, there's no Pickens, so that's going to be a negative. But I think the run ends here. And I don't think it's a bad thing because do you really want to be going into the playoffs on like a 12, 13 game winning streak? I don't know. You kind of want a stinker to be thrown in at some point. I think the Steelers are going to win 24-20.
So one, not a counterpoint, but just another note to discuss. I was one of the guys that does, I think he's on the, I'm sorry, he's either on the Athletic or Ringer now, but he does, film breakdowns every week. And he said he watched the last 10 years worth of games of Fangio defenses against Wilson, and he said Fangio always gives Wilson fits. So without Pickens, it could be, I mean, Pittsburgh could win a 13-10 rock fight.
It could be 15-13.
It could easily be, but Wilson's the guy that's always killed the Eagles, and Fangio has found ways over the course of a couple different teams to scheme up ways to really, so it's Wilson's constantly checking down, which maybe could work, or he's scrambling and throwing it out of bounds. So I think if the defense can keep him to 13 points, the Eagles can get 2 big plays, and that's enough. But look, Pittsburgh winning, even though it's a 5.5 point spread, is not going to be a surprise. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, it's a point. Maybe betting under in this game is a good bet, but
yeah, that might be the way to go.
It could be. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see if Hurts is able to throw the ball because, like you said, they're probably going to try and get Brown a ball so he stops crying. I don't know. I don't believe in this guy as a quarterback. Said it many times. I think the warts are going to show when he's forced to throw the ball. That's kind of why, and I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the podcast, like I kind of wanted Carolina to score that last touchdown and see what Hurts could do with 33 seconds left and having to get the ball probably to the 20-yard line because your kicker is not making kicks. So you want him to be under 40 yards to try to make that kick. That would have been interesting to see, but guy dropped the ball. So, but all right. Well, like I said, I promised it would be a short episode, and it is. So look out for us to come back next week with a full episode, talk some Phillies. review the Eagles game, preview next week's game against the Commanders, and then give our picks again. So that's it for tonight for episode 137 of Broad Street Hustle, and we will see you next week.